Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Anshu coming back with the today's Hindu editorial analysis. So how are you? Hope you are doing fine. So let's have a recap what we are going to cover, and I'm trying to end the session within the 30 minutes. Today's editorial will cover interesting news about international relations, one editorial, some historical sites also. So let's have a recap. The front page covering about the Israeli strikes across Gaza killed over 400 Palestinians. EC relents to hear the pleas and upload the booth-wise turnout. Second page covering about is the Trump and Putin hold to call on a Ukraine ceasefire plan. As the day after riots, Nagpur come under the curfew with a heavy police presence. Next page covering about the India's take 24 sports in a free speech survey. Fourth article is about the standing stones in a Madhumal in a Telangana for tentative list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Fifth is about the editorial that BSNL has dialing the wrong consultant. Sixth about the change now and high base effects. Seventh covering about the America's first doesn't mean America's alone. It's Kabad. Eighth one is covering about UN chief shocked by deadly Israeli strikes in Gaza Strip. And in London, PM Mark Carney underscores the Canada's sovereignty and identity. Ninth one is about the demand for grant railways passed in Lok Sabha amid noisy protest. And next is the trade union to stage strike on May 20 against labor codes. Labor codes is important, international labor code. So I will added this article. So let's starting the editorial without wasting your time with the front page covering about the Israeli strikes. Here it is also related added on the next page. We will here we will discuss about in the detail. Israel launched an air strike across the Gaza strips. Already we have covered on yesterday, and this news is covering from the early on Tuesday that killing at least of 400 Palestinians, mostly women and children, and local health official. The deadliest in the Gaza since start of 17-month war, shattered in ceasefire place since January. So the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered a strike after the Hamas refused Israeli demands to change the ceasefire and agreement. So the officials was expected to expand, and White House said it been consulted and voiced supported for its Israel actions. So the Israel military or desired people to evacuate eastern Gaza, including the much of northern town Beit Hanon and other communities. Israel will from now. So this attack is during the Muslim holy month of Ramzan could signal the full resumptions of a war that has already killed tens of thousands of Palestinians and causes a widespread destructions, and also the raised concern about the fate of roughly 2 dozen Israeli hostages held by Hamas who are believed to still alive. So we'll continue this on page 10 and more reports on page 14. I've added it. Next is about the EC reliance to hear the pleas to upload the booth-wise turnout. So there is a petition to make a representation before the poll panel in 10 days, and they have sought the authenticated, scanned, legible accounts of vote. So the petitioner's stances is delays in publishing voter turnout data followed by a sharp spike in figures of polling percentage of 2024 elections. Hence, the wide discrepancy between the voters at a poll booths and voter turnout published later, the suspicions of switching of electric voting machines, and EC affidavit in May 2024 was there is no legal mandate to provide the data to any person other than candidate to their polling agent. From the 17 seat to be shared only with candidate and their agent, and the turnout is to being released with a voter turnout app, website, and press release. So this was already Supreme Court asked the election to meet the Lok Sabha members It's Mahua Moitra and representative of Association India to hear the demand to upload its official website, authenticated, scanned, and legible accounts of vote. So there is a making a representation before EC in 10 days. The panel agreed to grant the petitioner a hearing to resolve the issue. The Election Commission's Ganesh Kumar and its affidavit is filed in EC for Supreme Court in 2024 for uncompromising position against. So basically there is a uncompromising positions and public disclosure of data turnout. That the also the epic number vote, how the voting numbers are added falsely. So there was a so the polling agents, persons, other candidates also, the bill is passed in Lok Sabha for what are the like EC begins to step to link the voter with Aadhaar card. So UDI issues there, and decision made at high level meeting by Chief Election Commissioner. So this is about. Next is the about the riots. Day after riots, Nagpur comes under a curfew of heavy police. So there was a holy book that was burned. The violence erupted over the rumors that holy book was burned during the protest by Vishwa Hindu Parishad Bajrang Dal demanding the removal of Aurangzeb tomb in the Chhatrapati Samji Nagar district of Maharashtra, and the mobs threw stones at vehicles. So there was a curfew imposing and adjudication of 11 of the 33 police stations in the city. These are happening. The police have been taken 50 persons and 5 FIR police stations. 34 police are injured. Police persons are injured and 3 were civilians. Next is the Trump and Putin hold to call on Ukraine ceasefire plan. So the White House on Tuesday evening, President Donald Trump and the Russian President Vladimir Putin begin a highly anticipated call on US for Russian leader to sign off a 30-day ceasefire. That is as a possible pathway to end the war. The Ukrainian official last week to agree the American proposal during the Saudi Arabia led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, however, remains skeptical that Mr. Putin is ready for peace as the Russian forces pound the Ukraine. And the discussion where the fire of power plant that has been seized during the grinding 3-year war, and leaders call begin at eastern from going well. So there is a bad situations in the Ukraine, and so these are Ukraine's is not in good, but we are going to see what we work as an agreement of a ceasefire and peace. So next is the Supreme Court to consider a Lokpal has a power to over judges of constitutional courts. So there is also a cases has been filed about the Lokpals that it has a power to over judges the constitutional courts or not. So the Supreme Court judges headed by B.R. Karvi on the Tuesday decided to examine the details if judges of constitutional courts comes with. So the court was hearing a suo motu case initiated after the Lokpal through the January 27 order. It's assuming the judication to investigate a complaint serving the High Court judges, and the Ombudsman classify High Court judges as a public servant who came within the Lokpal and Loka Ayuktas. So the Act 2013 is same as government ministers and officials, and the special bench had stayed the Lokpal on February 20 but disturbing with a potential impact on a independence judiciary. So these are the cases that is initiated in after a Lokpal order issue, suo motu case. So next is the India take the 24th sport in free speech survey. The free speech survey was further a global survey of free speech survey which rank is 33. I have somewhere where is the rank was written there. The Scandinavian dominated the top countries Norway, Denmark, finishing at the future indexes. Indonesia, Malaysia and Pakistan showed the biggest improvement through the remained end, and the survey found that majority Indian consider very important to speak freely without government censorship. Global averages. So its rank is 24th out of 33 countries. So it's a very like It's not a good ranking here. Um, on the questioning, the surveyed on the questions of support for free speech report title in the who is in the world have a free speeches states. So this survey was conducted in October 2024. Also revealed that more countries have seen decline rather than improvement in free speech support since 2021. Some of the biggest dropping democratic nations are US, United States, Israel, and Japan. Also, they are seeing largest decline in their this index. 7 countries dominated there with free speech index score is 87.9 and 87.0. Next is about the standing stones of Mudumunal in Telangana on tentative list of heritage UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it's the menhir of a standing stone of Mudumal in Nayapat in Telangana have made it the tentative list of it's menhir in Mudumal, Narayanpeta of Telangana UNESCO Heritage Site. The application was forwarded by Center to World Body have made it too. Means it was applied for UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Mudumola on the banks of Krishna. It is on the bank of Krishna that separates the state from Karnataka. And nearly 1200 large, these are the specific qualities, 1200 large size stones standing vertically through the existed 3000 year ago. And know the date and position of constellation of Leo, Vrsha Major, Vrsha Minor, Virgo, Taurus, etc. says the conservative architect Surya Narayan Murthy, who had to prepare the application of Murdamal site in collaboration with DAM and Deccan Heritage Academy. Next is it's about the told about the BSNL that has hired the its consultant as a its agency's name is BCG. It's Boston Consulting Group. He has hired consultant from the outside country, not in our own country. So this is creating a wrong consultant. Is there is not enough capability in Indians consultant that BSNL have to hire any another for outside consultant giving a and it's BSNL has pays a BCG. It's BSNL has to pay BCG. It's a 132 crore. So they are not just showing, they are just adding their data, but that they shows that they have a BSNL did the profit, but in this way they are doing profit is not good. Like you are just hiding the main thing by taking a wrong consultants. So the data available in the countries, for instance, France has spent over 1 billion on actual services provided by consultancy in 21, while the Australian government spent 21 billion external hire in 2021-22. So BSNL has reportedly BCG has reportedly recommended reducing the workforce amongst the major step when it become much talks about news. Need for scrutiny. The case of BSNL has once again draw attention to the contentious issue of growing influence, implications of outsourcing, strategic involvement, external consultants, and there is a need of scrutinize. The central critique is most rooted in the lack of skin in the game. Consultancy's firm is given project to attract to provide outcomes, and BSNL fortune fails to improve their despite implementation of BCG strategies to faces no troubling and it's a misalignment incentives. So what is the impact on state capacity and conflict of interest? Like implication of state capacity, the skills and the knowledge learned by the consultants on these projects are transferred to public officials. So it set up a negative feedback loop where public sector employees lose skills and institutional knowledges, meaning the next project piece of work still in the need external outputs. The proliferation consultancy contract reflect a deeper crisis, confidence in the public sector ability to govern itself as well as by implicating its own legitimacy. The institution also creates an accountable parallel bureaucracy, consultants who wield a significant influence over the public policy. The consulting firms serve multiple clients across industries, competitors, and overlapping relationship, raising questions about recommendation. The conflict interest has recently been debated in most countries. An additional problem is that objective of public sector enterprises are very often different. Maximization of perspective, emphasizing the cost-cutting efficiency market. It's while the strategies yield term or short-term gains, enterprises has historically played. So what will work better here? The consultancy weakens the business inferiorities, governments warms the economy suggests to be reversing the strengthening external capabilities and, and it's recruiting and training of top talented, fostering cultural innovations and empowering employees to take ownership of company. So its internal expertise and organization could develop strategies, their autonomy and which get compromised in the much reliance on the outside system. And the case of BSNL and BCG serve as a microcosm of a broader debate about the consultancy firms in public sector, state capacity and accountability. So there is a like notion for government across the world to rethink the model of governance. So we are presenting it at a very good level. So you are just giving example to the public sectors and their capability, thinking about the accountability also, state capacity. So you should be like it's a model of governance should be keeping. Next is about a change now. It's the first acknowledging discussion of a Panam episode of anti-India's activities by pro-Khalistani groups in US since Donald Trump administration took office. In the meeting with the US director, let me just pin this article. So the US, since the Donald Trump administration took office, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh raised the issue in a meeting with the US Director National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard. He urged that US to be like a designate at 6 for Justice SFC and led by the Guru Patwant Singh Panam as a foreign terrorist organizations sitting an anti-Indian activities on American soil. Already we have discussed that case about that Panam who was the activist was anti-Indian activities did and fled to the America. So it's American soil and intelligence ISI. So Mr. Gabbard was in India to achieve conferences and chair the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. So the conferences is the fourth edition, took place the day before annual Arizona dialogue. The conference that took place in it's a fourth edition and conference of the with the observed with the external affair Ministry of External Affairs co-organized with the Observance Research Foundation who organized it. Questions can be asked. It's a sorry just so good. It's the Observer Research Foundation organize it and it's creating a advocates self-determination for Sikhs in their historic homeland of Punjab. The Indian government banned the organization 2019 under the Awful Activities Prevention Act for India activities, and Khalistani insurgency remain a dark chapter in India's history. Its insurgents of the several Western countries to have a growing concern for India, pro-Khalistani protest often turning aggressive and become pattern. So Mr. Jayasang Affair Minister S. Jayasankar has heckled with the pro-Khalistani slogan behind this month and promoting the efforts to address issue particularly there. Next is about the high base effects. Like India's good trade in February saw a steep decline is from 10.9% to 36.9% billion dollar, while imports smallest trade deficit in over 3 years 42 months is $14 billion. So a leap year stood as export in February last year stood as 41.4 billion and imports were strength of America and April to announce US President for the bilateral Narendra Modi where they are enabling the ambitious plan to boost the bilateral trade to $500 billion by 2030. These are the and becoming the second largest trading partner. India's exporter, as the US is India is the second largest trading partner, accounting for $118 billion. $18 billion, and it's there is a drop linked to the domestic growth prices is 87,866 per 100 gram, and there is 30% India's diversified in supplying the sources, and 40% of India's crude imports to significant increase from less than 1% before Western sanctions on the Moscow following the 2022 invasion in Ukraine. Now, New Delhi, India could face 15% widening of overall trade deficit. So these are the base effects. Next is about the Americas first doesn't mean the Americas alone. So the conference at the Razina Dialogue, a fourth edition. Already have discussed about who it was conducted by. Observer. It's by the Observer Research Foundation. Let me just go through the article. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said on Tuesday, drawing parallels to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India's first. Speaking the annual Razina Dialogue, Miss Gabbard emphasizes the need to work together, addresses the challenges of Indo-Pacific regions and for a collective goals to achieve, and the Russian-Ukraine wars to prevent the risk of Third World War, to end it. So it is committed to America's putting first is committed America first putting the safety, security and freedom of American people. First is America alone, but this should not be misunderstood to mean that America first is America alone. The relationship that we build together are critical advance. Basically, it was by the US Director National Intelligence that like America is thinking firstly thinking about for themselves, but they want they want to work together as a partner, just like framing their own conversation, first thinking for themselves and then thinking for others, like that. So the American committed to America first, PM Modi is committed to India's first Prime Minister. President Trump is committed America and then committed to India first. So the Prime Minister Luxon is committed to New Zealand, she said. Like the first was playing here. Mr. Gabbard, who was in India 3-day visit, during the she met countries on the top leadership left for US after session, and she expressed the confidence that partnership and friendship between two nations and their leaders would continue to grow. The partnership between two countries have been strong decades under the leadership of two great leaders, two great friends. The President Trump and Narendra Modi, rooted in our shared values, peace and freedom, security and prosperity. So it's a commitment of peace, like ensuring order and stability in the region is critical. Geopolitical center of gravity 21st century, and there is such a time leaders stand up for their own interest, and affects all. And I've also watched about this Razana dialogues, and our foreign minister said it, explained it very well, like how is the relation with the US and other countries, but in that Islam's the Pakistan, about that reason Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So his conversation of the ending of the not reaching to the Third World War, seizing the fire of Ukraine and Russia war. So these are the here. Eighth one is about the UN chief shocked by deadly Israeli strikes in a Gaza Strip. So the UN chief Antonio. So hundreds were killed in the most intense Israeli air strikes in Gaza since a fragile ceasefire took effect. So the Israeli air strike in Gaza, UN spokesperson Ronaldo Gomez told the press. So he strongly appealed for a ceasefire to respect for unimpeded humanitarian assistance to reestablish and remaining hostages to be released unconditionally. Continuing fighting, Israel on Tuesday vote to continue fighting in Gaza Strip until the return of hostages. At so, Health Ministry in Hamas turned territory reported at least 413 people killed in latest strikes. And it's a Philippine Lazzarini, head of UN Legacy for Palestine refugees, and said resuming the war would fuel hell on earth. Next is in London, PM Mark Carney underscored the Canada's sovereignty and identity. So the Canada new Prime Minister Mark Carney arrived in London on Monday for meeting for his counterpart UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and their relations, like UK and US relations, are very from a long time. There is good relations. Like they have arrived on earlier. The President Donald Trump had initiated in trade skirmish Ottawa by imposing a tariffs on long-time alien neighbor. Mr. Trump has also repeatedly poked at Canada's sense of nationhood, urging the Canada to become US cherished 51st states, and that he would like to annex the country. So leader agreed that UK-Canadian partnership is based on the shared history, values, and the Commonwealth shared king, and they both look forward to strengthening the ties to the number 10 Downing Street set. Next is about the demands for grant of railways passed in Lok Sabha amid noisy protest. Let me just. So the discussion of demand grants for railway 25-26. Railway Minister Ashwani Vaishnav said that Tuesday the Lok Sabha allocating 2.52 lakh crore as a grocery budgetary support GBS for railways historic decisions, and at the oppositions like over not being allowed to speak Prime Minister Narendra Modi's statement on Mahakumbh. Mr. Vaishnav, and despite challenges during the COVID-19, railways had reached a healthy financial position. So there are conversations of like that the it's a railway staff cost is 1,16,000 crore, 15 lakh pensioners, 66,000 crores, energy cost is 32,000 crore, financing cost amount is 25,000 crore. So total railway altogether, the total expenditure railway is 2,75,000 crore, whereas the total income approximate said is 2,78,000 crore. So the passenger fares like mean railway recover only 53% of the cost, and remaining 43% is subsidized. So this subsidies amount 60,000 crore. Social obligations like, and for example 350-kilometer journeys Indian Railway cost 121. Example is given like, and in Pakistan it is 436, Bangladesh 323, Sri Lanka it's 413. He added, they're giving the example of neighboring countries. So replying all the concerns, a member of Parliament regarding the discrimination against Tamil Nadu, Kerala, West Bengal in railway infrastructure development, Mr. Vaishnav stated a record budget allocation has been given to every state. Next is trade union to stage strike on May 20 against Labour Code. So, Central Trade Union and Federation workers in opposition camp has decided to observe a general strike of 20 against centre, and it's Narendra Modi led NDA government has become atrociously desperate to push through the corporate several policy machination and toiling the populace phenomena of deepening and widening, the impoverishment, spread of hunger, malnutrition levels skyrocket, unemployment and joblessness together. So simultaneously the profit of corporate business got multiplied all the time, the declaration said. So Labour Code overacting, just read one time, it's ILO, International Labour Code. It is very important. Questions have been asked from this topic also, when it is implemented and how it is so. The courts would snatch all the right entitlements and STU federations basic defining work, protest and snatch the declarations. So these are all for today. Let's have a summary in ending this session. Front page is covering about Israeli strikes across the Gaza, kill over 400 Palestinians. EC relents to hear the pleas to upload the booth-wise turnout. Second is about the SC to consider local power. Trump and Putin hold the call on Ukraine ceasefire. Third is about the 24th in the spot in free speech survey. Standing stone to be Mudumal in Telangana for UNESCO World Heritage Site has been listed. Fifth is editorial on BSNL about wrong consultant. Sixth is about the change now and high base effects. Eighth is about the UN chief shocked by deadly Israeli strike in Gaza Strip, and London PM Marconi underscored the Canada sovereignty and identity. Ninth is about the demand grants for railways and trade union to stage on strike. So ending this session here. Thank you for stay tuned the last. Tomorrow we will meet with a new session. Till now, thank you, good night, and study well, and give me feedback how you like this lecture. Rate whether it is good or bad. Just tell me in comment. Thank you.